So today I'll be making an origami kartana. The end goal is to get something that looks a little bit like this. You'll need 4 pieces of colored one-sided origami paper, 2 orange, 1 yellow, and 1 white. And this takes me a little more than an hour to do, so I'm gonna get started with an orange piece of paper with making the leg part. I think it's going to be pretty clear almost immediately that I'm not that great at folding origami. Like the only thing I've ever actually learned how to do besides this is make like origami cranes, and the last time I made one was maybe 10 years ago, so this will be less of a tutorial and more of an opportunity for me to ramble about Pokemon merchandise and the recent Crown Tundra DLC. The actual tutorial I'll link below that I used, but I feel like, you know, your mileage might vary because it's in Chinese. So depending on your Chinese comprehension. And 2, because sometimes the person doesn't use like the corresponding colored paper, so it's kind of hard to tell like what piece you should be folding and like which side. So I guess this can be kind of like a supplementary thing to that. And I guess it's kind of nice to know, even if you're not great at folding like I am, you can still get a pretty decent piece of origami at the end. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I guess to start, I kind of got on this like trying to learn how to make an origami kartana. After that Bump of Chicken Acacia music video came out. Wait. I'm already messing up. Yeah, after that music video came out, I kind of spent some time digging through the official Pokemon YouTube channel. Where after I saw this really cute animatic commercial about Surfetched and Farfetched trying to merchandise their new line of merch, trying to market their new line of merch, it sent me to the Pokemon Center website, which I found out is very dangerous because of how much cute like plushes and like other miscellaneous merchandise there are on that website. And I really spent quite a while trying to convince myself not to buy like that Halloween, there's like a Halloween Morpeko dressed up as a Gengar plush that was really terribly cute. As well as like there's a Corviknight taxi plush with a little taxi that you can put like smaller plushes in. And even like, there's some like kind of janky looking stuff, like the Gigantamax Pikachu plush, which looks a little busted, but is a little cute in how busted it looks. But at that point, I had just purchased Joey's New York Creepies plush, which unfortunately has not shipped yet, so I can't show it off at this point, which is a shame because it's very, very cute. But what that meant for me was that it felt like I had hit a quota of like acceptable amount of Pokemon merchandise purchased for the month. And then I remembered at some point during this like spiral of being stuck in this black hole of Pokemon merchandise. Oh, this is getting hard. That there's literally a Pokemon that is just origami, just paper folded up. And with the internet being how it is, likely somebody has already figured out how to make it. And looking online, somebody already had. Somebody named Xiao on some, what seems to be like a Chinese video sharing platform. And so I made one, and it was actually not super difficult and pretty cheap. I got this like pack of one-sided Daiso origami paper for like $6 or $7, which was, you know, capable of making me, without messing up, capable of making me a couple of these origami pieces rather than like spending $30 on a plush. That would still be cute, but you know, it felt like a little bit of a splurge at that point. Yeah, I got to the point where I made a couple, and it was like cute and fun enough that I decided to make like a bunch so I could string them up like they have those strings of paper people in elementary school classrooms. So like you can't really see it, but like right there, there's a pile of like 5 kartana. And this will be the 6th one, and hopefully after this I'll just be able to string them up. They're kind of wider than I expected them to be, which I really should have guessed actually looking at the picture of kartana, but you know what, I'm sure it'll work out. It'll probably be fine. Okay, from here, what do I do? But yeah, the end result is quite nice in that at least it seems to be like a life-sized version of kartana. Like at least based off what you see when you put them in the front of your party and have them run around behind you in the crown tundra, which if you haven't done yet is highly recommended because it's very cute. Yeah, and then as a side note, it's funny to me that there are a couple of plushes on PokemonCentral.com for the Ultra Beasts. One of them being Kartana, which is totally weird to me. Like, I understand Nihilego getting a plush, and even to some degree, like, Buzzwole, that kind of makes sense to me too, because he's kind of round. But, like, Kartana's literally paper. Like, he's just, it's just flat. It doesn't, Yeah, it's like super odd looking once you get it all stuffed. It gets these like thick loppany looking thighs, which is very unnerving to look at. But you know, I guess to each their own, I suppose. Anyway, okay, this. This is kind of hard. Okay, pull this out. Okay, oh, okay. Alright, besides the merch, I also wanted to ramble about the Pokemon, the Crown Tundra DLC, because I've been having a lot of fun with that. Yeah, I wasn't really sure how it was going to be before it came out. Since all the PokeTubers I watch, like, they all kind of play competitive, and I played a total of like 15 games on the ladder. And I wasn't sure that I was going to play that much. In the DLC either, considering that all the videos I watched from these PokeTubers was kind of fear that Landorus was coming back. So it wasn't like super relevant. All the reaction videos I saw weren't like the most relevant to what I was looking for. But you know, it looked fun. From the trailers, it looked like more involved than Isle of Armor, which I did enjoy, but what I felt like was mostly okay. Although, like, looking at what's going on now, it's funny to me that that Landorus is at least not as prevalent as he used to be, which is kind of nice. But at the same time, I still feel like I'm not. It's kind of scary to go on the ladder at this point with all these fast Pokemon and all of these Pokemon with Beast Boost. I feel like if I do end up getting on the ladder at some point, it's definitely going to be after the meta kind of figures itself out. And, you know, I can more easily understand, like, different checks and balances to all these different cores that are floating around. But yeah. Before Crown Tundra came out, it was funny to me that everybody was kind of scared that that Landorus is coming back. But I was kind of over here just laughing about how Galarian Zapdos kind of looked like that red Chocobo in Final Fantasy XIV that had been just massacring fields of players. But yeah, the first thing, I guess we can talk about Peony first, since he's the first thing that, first person that you see, that you meet in the Crown Tundra. He kind of reminds me of, kind of feels like Hop 2.0. Even with, he even has like the neglected the neglected younger brother inferiority complex thing going on. Although it seems with him, he was the brother who became champion rather than his older brother, who did like something else not trainer like. Which is, and then also, I didn't even notice this until I started reading his league cards, but the fact that they both caught cockroaches together when they were kids, and they both still use them as adults as their like some of their main Pokemon is so cute and hurts me in all my feelings. Yeah. Honestly, when I first saw him, I noticed that he looked similar to Rose. But even after, like the Dynamax Adventure Den, scientist lady had insinuated that they were related. It took me an embarrassingly long time to realize that, that they both had flower names. Yeah. On that note, like, it's so lame to me that his daughter's named Peonia. Like, now I understand that it's like a localization thing, but at that point, it just sounded like a half-assed version of naming your child Peony Jr. Especially considering that, like, at this point I had just assumed that they needed to be named flowers. And there are tons of cute flower names for girls that aren't Peonia. Like, I don't know, like Lily or Daisy or Tulip or something. Like, honestly, she could have been named Sunflower and that would have been cool with me. But even after finding out, like, kind of how the Japanese names are and, like, understanding how they were localized, like, I don't know, even, like, Nessa's localization is totally random. Like, she was supposed, she doesn't follow all of the plant themes, and she's just named the Loch Ness Monster, like. And they say that Raihan is named after something called the Golden Chain, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know how exactly you derive Raihan from Golden Chain, but I guess whatever. But does this mean that if Rose has a daughter, that Rose's daughter would be named something like Rosie? So you would just have, like, Rose and Rosie and Peony and Peonia. Like, that is such, like, an odd family naming convention. Like, I feel like family gatherings would be so odd. Fold this up. It looks a little busted, but that's okay. Okay. That side looks a little busted, but we can always glue that down. Anyways, I feel like if I was going to get Hop 2.0, I would have almost rather to just get more of Hop 1.0. Um, I just need to, you know, make sure my boy is happy and thriving and things are going well for him in life. Like, who else is gonna do that? His family? Clearly not. And I guess although I didn't get more pop 1.0, it's kind of nice that I got to go to the Galarian Star Tournament and just beat everybody else up 4-hop to make sure that he manages to win a tournament for once in his life. Alright, we're almost done with the legs. Okay. I guess the next thing after Peony would be the Dynamax adventures. The first thing being, like, how many notes is this lady taking, such that she only has room to jot down three names. Like, I imagine at some point if she... Oh, this is all busted. Where's the fold? Somewhere over here. Okay, oh, whew. That looks okay. Okay. Yeah, I imagine at some point, if you run out of room in your notebook, you're gonna have to get another notebook, right? Unless, like, even though you're continuing your research, you're just not taking any more notes. And besides that, shouldn't these paths to these dens of these, aren't you here to study the legendary Pokemon? Like, shouldn't these paths to these legendary dens be part of your notes? Like, I don't know about this. It just seems a little suspect. But the Dynamax adventures themselves have been pretty fun. They've both been, like, fun and incredibly maddening. I spent a while just playing AI until my boyfriend tried to convince me that it was easier playing online with actual people. And then, like a fool, I believed him and tried it out. And I must be just constantly mashed with, like, children new to the game who maybe don't have a full understanding of what's going on with type effectiveness or something. Because I don't know, even the real people, they'll keep bringing, like, clearly defensively and offensively weak types into the final matchups, and, like, or they'll be, like, fighting over a new Pokemon when clearly somebody else's Pokemon is, I don't know, almost dead or paralyzed or something. Although it is, I guess, better than some of the AI experiences I had. Like, there was this one, I don't remember exactly which legendary it was, but I'm pretty sure the type that you see at the beginning of the den, it was like either water or flying. So I had picked up a Duraludon, which I'm pretty sure had like Thunderbolt and Thunderwave. And then 2 of the AI had managed to pick up the 2 Raichus available, so the regular Raichu and then the Galarian Raichu. And I was like, I'm just gonna run this Pokemon over. We have so many lightning types. I was clearly a fool. I did not realize that the regular Raichu had Lightning Rod, which effectively offensively neutered 3 of my Pokemon. I didn't even realize. This is when I learned, actually, that Lightning Rod works on status moves as well that don't do any damage. When I tried to, thinking that if I couldn't hit anything, I could at least paralyze something. What a fool I was. This is a little busted. That's not quite right. Whoopsies. Okay, it's gonna be fine. Alright, try this again. I guess worst comes to worst, I can just eyeball this. Yeah, that does not look like it's gonna be even. Hold on. How is this? Like this? It's okay, you can have one busted leg. Okay, that looks a little more even. Okay. Legs done. Next, get the other orange piece for the back. Where was I? I was talking about the Raichus. Yeah. Yeah, so essentially 3 of my Pokemon had been offensively neutered. But not only that, all this Raichu wanted to do, since he was already passively making my Pokemon useless. Oh my god, let me close those blinds. Okay, yeah, since the Raichu had already decided to passively make my Pokemon useless, it decided to also actively sabotage me as well. By only wanting to speed swap. Which is already annoying. Since, you know, with all of these special attack boosts, you'd think it'd want to hit something, but no. It just wants to speed swap all day. What makes it worse was that the Pokemon that it wanted to speed swap 80% of the time was the Alolan Raichu, which is essentially the same Pokemon with exactly the same speed stat. So now instead of, you know, half of the team being useless, 3/4 of the team is useless. And then finally at some point, the last AI in the group decides to pick up a Bronzong, which is, you know, usually fine. gotta cut this. Okay. Yeah, Ashio cuts this with like an X-Acto knife and one of those soft boards, but I don't have those, so I'm just gonna cut it with the scissors I used to open my Amazon packages. Alright, we'll just call that a day. And we can always trim if this doesn't turn out to be a nice looking triangle, which I'm guessing it doesn't. Alright. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna trim that. Cool. And now it's almost like we cut it precisely to begin with. Okay. Where is it? Oh yeah, at some point, the last AI in my party decided to pick up a bronzong, which normally is just fine. But, oh shoot. But in practice, for this run, nope, still not right. Alright, one more time. But this time, all this bronzong wanted to do was also speed swap. So I just had 2 Pokemon on the field speed swapping everything and anything in sight. To the point where I literally don't know how fast anything is anymore. So here I am just clicking Iron Head and praying something works out. Needless to say, I did not beat that legendary on that run. Okay. I guess the next thing is Calyrex. I really enjoyed the Calyrex storyline. I'm kind of glad we're continuing with the like the kind of feel-good legendaries and storylines. Okay, sure. When I first saw Calyrex, like floating behind the statue all creepy like, and like floating eerily to his grove, it was pretty horror movie like. And I guess it's not super great that he just, you know, is constantly body jacking and kidnapping Peony. And you know, dragging him across the tundra with no, while also taking away his ability to defend himself from assaulting Pokemon. That's not great either. But it, you know, the thing where he kind of subdues and enslaves another Pokemon solely for the sake of his own power. You know, that's also a little suspect. But ultimately, it seems a little more in line with like how cute the sword and shield dogs are, and how like friendly they are with each other, rather than like invasive alien species, literal alien species, coming in from outer space and wreaking havoc and mass destruction, and also, you know, coming as parasitic life forms to take over native legendaries. Like, the more I think about it, actually, it's so shady that even after Caloric's got his power back, he doesn't go and help his village with their soil fertility issues. Like, the game even makes it a point to show the village head going around and like fretting about his I don't know, nutrient deficient soil or something. The fact that he's always talking about how like nice the villagers are, or were, I guess. But the first thing he does after he gets his power is not to, like, you know, do what he used to do, and instead just like fight you and go with you and, you know, leave this frozen hellscape behind. It's kind of sketch. But at least it's not like mass destruction, so net positive, I guess. Okay, this is a little jank, but you know what, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, this is the hard part. Okay. This is where I start getting into trouble. There's like an inner triangle here that you're supposed to keep folded out while you fold the rest of this in. And I've folded a couple of these where I just folded all of it in and wasn't able to open it back up again. And then wasted some paper. But yeah. Oh, this is hard. Okay. Just pop this out. Keep this. fold it out. Where did it go? It's further down. I guess while difficult, I don't worry too much about how this part looks, since we're just gonna fold it over anyways. I think half of the ones I folded have really janky folds here, but you know what, it's okay. I've definitely never folded one of these, like this tip here, like a nice looking tip. They're all kind of janky at the bottom, but yeah, that's the least important part. We're just gonna fold that all the way back anyways. You know what, that's not bad, hopefully. Yay, that's actually one of the better ones I've done. Okay. Not bad. Nice, okay. That is good. Okay. Oh. Nice. Okay, a little jankier, but that's okay. It's just gonna be folded over. Oh. Where was I? Now that I can talk again. So I should fold this over too. Fix this up a little. Okay, I just talked about Calyrex. I guess, yeah, the other legendaries, the birds and the Reggies, that was pretty fun as well. I'm really glad they came back with the roaming legendaries. I feel like we haven't had proper roaming legendaries from what I remember since Gen 5. If I'm remembering correctly. I think the only thing that kind of came close was maybe those weird wormholes from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I don't think those count. But it was really nostalgic, especially the birds. Well, I mean, I guess only the birds. It really reminded me of, it really made me nostalgic for all those days in high school where I would spend running around at the checkpoints between routes, like looking at the weather and trying to find, what was it, tornadoes and thunders? Alright, this is looking jankier the more I look at it. Let me fold this one down too. But yeah, no, it was also really cute that the three birds got their own like different roaming methods too. I had a lot of fun, especially with Articuno. Like even the times where I would mess up guessing which duplicate was the right one. It was cool because you could chase after it on a bike, and just the visual, the image of your little character biking after this this bird flying somewhere and just like biking across the overworld. That was just really nice. And it was just, I don't know, it was just really nice. Okay, here we have the body done. Something like that. What should we do next? Let's do the head next. Yeah. Okay. This is if you have like a piece of origami paper, a yellow origami paper, and you just cut it into fourths, this is one of those fourths. Yeah. Yeah, I had the most fun with Articuno. Honestly, I don't even really know what Moltres' roaming method is. Since after the first try and just seeing it, do this loop from around the sea back to the dojo, I just ended up on my second try just going straight to the dojo and just standing there and waiting for it to come fight me. I don't know if it was supposed to have like a route through the ooh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Whoops. If it was supposed to have a route through the Isle of Armor and I was supposed to chase it around or something, which would have been cool, but I didn't do that, so. But yeah, it was kind of nice. It felt like the first legendary fight in a long time where there were actual stakes. I'm sure it's like just my imagination, but I feel like there hasn't really been any sort of difficult legendary fight in a long time. I don't know, were the Ultra Beasts, were the Tapus hard to catch? I can't really remember. It's been so long. Maybe they were hard to catch and I'm just not remembering. Alright. Now I have to cut these 4 triangles off. I can't talk when I cut. Okay. You should save one of these for a later piece, but for now we're just gonna push them aside. Okay. What was I talking about? The legendary birds. Oh yeah. The music was really nice too. Like the legendary bird theme was a bop. And then even the Calyrex theme was pretty good too. to the point where like sometimes if I'm working and I have to like get motivated, I'll just pop on the fighting tracks from the battle themes from Crown Tundra. Yeah, even like the Reggie theme. I think this Reggie theme is my favorite remix of the Reggie theme so far. I don't know, actually I don't know how much of it is due to the, like how good the theme itself is, and how much of it is just like, as we move away from, like further and further away from those like dinky MIDI instrumentations, these kinds of alien beep boop sounding tracks stick out more in the overall soundtrack. So I wonder how much of it is like that as well. But even beyond that, I think it's just like, it's like the cleanest remix, and I really like that. The instrumentation is really nice. Like they take out that the little alien ostinato. They make it less beep boopy. By making that like an electric recorder or something, which is pretty cute. There we go. Oh dear. Is that right? I messed up a little. Okay, try again. It's a little far. Ruh-roh. Come on. Okay. Oh, I was getting worried there for a second. These folds are not coming together. Okay. Okay. Okay, when I fold these, I always have to go smaller than I expect. The first one I made was, these folds I made were really big, and that kartana ended up looking a little goofy, but you know, it was the first one I made, so whatever. Yeah, this is one of the hard parts of I find all the hard parts of folding these is when you don't fold on a pre-existing crease or corner, and you just kind of have to eyeball it. That's where I start getting into trouble. Too far. It might be a little too far. Come back. Okay, that's okay. Alright, I guess back to the birds. I don't know, I just feel like Zapdos got the short end of the stick for this one. I understand that Pokédex stats are pretty whack already. But I would have expected Zapdos to be, I don't know, like horse or ostrich sized. Or at least something that you could like an adult could ride comfortably. But instead, Zapdos is like 5'3". It's a little hard to be I don't know, I can't take it seriously. It's when it's like the height of a 14-year-old boy, you know? My recording stopped, but once you fold all those back and then fold these edges back again, the head is done. Okay, let's do the arm connector thing next. It's another quarter of these a yellow piece of origami paper. Where's I? Oh yeah, talking about how Zapdos is shortchanged. Yeah, Zapdos is like 5'3". And then you have Moltres over here. Moltres is like 7 feet tall. Like, I don't know why Zapdos is such a short boy compared to the other ones. But even like, not just that. Articuno and Moltres have edgy ass titles. Like I think Articuno is the cruel Pokemon and Moltres is the malevolent Pokemon or something like that. And then here Zapdos is over on this end as the strong legs Pokemon. I mean, like, it's nice that he has strong legs, but surely he could have something like diabolical sounding as well. Like, poor kid. Okay. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about the Reggies. Besides, like, the music slaps. I guess Regieleki is pretty darn cute. Like, the bouncing animation is fantastic. It's like, for me, it's like Hitmontop level idol animation. But yeah, I guess the only thing is that I did see this funny post about how it notes that Regieleki's Pokédex entry like specifically points out that it could power by itself all of Galar. Like it could take care of all of their electricity needs. Which is just like so funny to think about how if Rose had just done a little more research, like at worst, he could have just like subdued and enslaved one Pokemon. I honestly, I'm sure that he could have even like, you know, just gone and caught it and come to some sort of agreement. But or even just studied it or something. But yeah, at worst, capture and enslave it. Rather than trying to call an apocalypse and then, you know, risk going to jail, which I'm assuming he eventually does. Like surely if his brother who is supposed to be like not as good as him or whatever, if his brother can find all these clues to the legendary Pokemon in question. And he doesn't even have like the financial resources of like a company that has a monopoly on seemingly everything in the region. Like, surely Rose could do it too. Alright. This part's fun. This part's like, it reminds me of folding those like accordion like fans when I was a kid. Oh man. Oh, these folds are so small, I have to get close. Okay. Time to go to the other side. Okay, this time my card ran out of battery, so once you're done, it should look something like this. Okay, let's make the arms next. For this, each arm will be made from one of these quarters from a white piece of origami paper. This one is a little tricky. It's another one of those where you kind of just have to eyeball it. So this is where you have to fold it into thirds such that once you fold like these over each other, they'll be equal widths. Now we're getting into like the hard ones. Let's just see. Okay, that's that one is not enough. Gotta go more. Could still be a little more. Yeah. That might be a little too much. Alright, bring it back, bring it back. Okay. Whew. These are the arms are not too complicated to make, which is why they're kind of nice to make. There's an arm. And then you should just do this again for the second arm. Okay, then you should end up with 2 arms. So let's do the shoulder guards next. These you make with a quarter of a origami piece cut in half into triangles. This one for me is the hardest one to make, because this one is just completely eyeballing things. I find that this one, if I make it this first fold, if I make it too big, that's where I end up in trouble. So let's just looks about right, probably. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. Okay. And then it's a matter of pulling this down. And then just folding this flatter. touch it. It's pretty close, okay. Like right here. Right here. Here. That's too deep. Shoot. Okay. Maybe here. Okay, and then final fold over here. That's not the worst. Maybe that could go one more, but that's probably fine. Okay, that's one done. I'm gonna do the next one off screen because this is stressful, but the next one you just do the opposite way, you fold it like this. Okay, now we have the two shoulder guards done. Now we're finally at the last part, which is just the little antenna and the thing connecting the antenna to the head, which if you take a quarter of a piece and you cut it into quarters, you'll use 3 of those quarters for this part. We're finally back at the point where I can just talk about stuff now, to ramble about stuff now. I don't have to focus so hard on folding things, which is nice because I only had a couple more things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I guess the first of those things would be like the Zubat caves. I was surprisingly moved to see them back in the games. Like if you had told me 10 years ago when they first took them out, I think it was 10 years ago, it was Gen 5, right? If you told me 10 years ago when they first took out the Zubat caves that there would eventually be a time where I would find them nostalgic, I would have laughed in your face. But they were actually, I guess it's also nicer that they're not random encounters anymore, because that was probably the most painful part about them. But yeah, I was surprisingly nostalgic about them. Honestly, I wonder if it's like Game Freak has been putting in this like this long con and their end goal has always been just for the normalization and acceptance of their their Zubat caves. It's all just diabolical stuff. But I guess the next thing is this one's pretty random, but like the I thought it was super cute that the absols in the Crown Tundra lived in the snowy part. Like, I don't know if canonically absols are supposed to live in snowy areas, but at least looking at I looked at a couple of Pokédex entries and it didn't say anything. It's always just talking about how they foretell disaster or something ominous. And then I'm pretty sure, at least in the games that I remember, you just kind of find them in the wild grass. There's not really any particular, like, they don't live anywhere particularly cold. Oh, fold. Cool. Right. that's one antenna done. Just do the same thing for the other one. And then this one, to make the connecty thing, you fold this in half. Cut it. Fold it in half again. Cut it. It's a little jank. Okay. I guess the very last thing. I get that the clothes are such a small part of like the overall gameplay. But I feel like they are such an easy add, you know? Like, you don't have to add any new mechanics or anything, you just have to make some new clothing models. I just feel like both for this game, this DLC and the Isle of Armor DLC have been rather, the clothing I've been like so sad about. Like, I don't know, I at least didn't want to dress up like Marnie. I was perfectly happy with the Marnie already in the game. And I guess like, I don't know, the expedition uniform is fine. But I can only go with so many like graphic t-shirts before I just want something else. This one I gotta cut a little bit. Honestly, I feel like sometimes the clothes customization 2 generations later, it was still the best in XY. I feel like there were a lot of options in XY, but maybe that's just like time clouding the reality of the situation. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like there could have been more different clothes and hairstyles added. Oop. Okay, just a couple more folds. I need to fold it this way now. Trying to keep these 2 tails together is nightmarish. Alright, that's not quite right. Alright, there we go. That's close enough. Alright. And then my favorite part. Oh, what's this tail doing? Go back down. Okay, it's a little jank. Okay, a lot jank. But you know what? That's okay. Just fold it straight, I guess. Okay, now you should have all the different pieces, and then it's just time to glue them down. I've been using this glue that I really like. It's nice because it has like a little pen tip. What I like to do is I like to glue all the individual pieces down first. So like this, I will glue all these little flappy parts together and then just like bobby pin it down until it dries. And then I also like to fold these the other way so that I can get like a little pop out here, and then I'll glue this part down here down so it stays. So like this part is an individual piece I'd consider. This part with the two arms, I'd glue them down like this. This one I've definitely messed up and accidentally glued this the wrong way before. But it's the point goes on the top. That's a part I would consider. I would glue these on last, right before you glue the arms down. And then I would consider this arm part, this head part, like an independent piece. So you just kind of hook the little triangle thing, the little diamond thing in there, and then just glue the antenna in. And then yeah, you can assemble it and glue it, and then you're done. Oh, that's it. Really quickly, I forgot that there's a little yellow piece that goes in the middle here. I forgot that what I mentioned previously, the little yellow triangles that you cut off of the head piece of paper, you can just judgmentally cut out a strip and then just wrap it around and glue it, and then that's the last part.